Welcome to this edition of Collier Focus. On today's show, we'll take a look at the Board of County Commissioners meeting. The county's local vendor preference gets its 2-year review, and the construction contract is approved for Phase 1 of the Bayview Park project. I'm Troy Miller. We'll cover these stories and more next on Collier Focus. Stay tuned.
Whether reporting on the latest news stories or hot issues, taking a look at county government services, or announcing what's happening around the county, this is Collier Focus, bringing government home.
At the recent Board of County Commissioners meeting, the board heard the 2-year review of the local vendor preference policy from Steve Carnell, the county's purchasing director. Carnell told the board that the program has increased the amount that the county spends with local vendors from $171 million per year to $213 million per year. At least one commissioner likes what he sees.
The PFP awards to Collier vendors have increased from 26.5% to 40.5%. That's a 65% increase in local vendors receiving contracts. I think that was the whole objective we were trying to get to in the beginning. I don't want to do anything that's going to discourage vendors. There's never going to be fair in this world. There's no way on God's earth we're ever going to come up with something that's totally fair. But if we're going to be unfair, I'd rather be unfair to those people that do not do business in Collier County and those people that do business in Collier County. Looking for the best value I can for the taxpayers, but taxpayers are the vendors that we have out there that live in Collier County. So I'm not too excited to change anything on this particular program. It seems to be working well.
The board voted to continue the program as is for now, but staff and the purchasing director were asked to meet with the county's Economic Development Task Force to discuss possible changes to strengthen the current policy. The board heard a presentation on the Property Assessed Clean Energy Initiative, also known as PACE, legislation signed into law by the governor last month. PACE is a program that could be implemented by local governments to provide upfront funding to property owners to install conservation energy, renewable energy, and wind-resistant improvements to their homes and repay the cost over time through special assessments collected on the property tax bill. We asked the presenter, Steve Hart, to explain how the public will potentially use the program.
So I'm a property owner, and I realize I'm spending way too much money on electric costs. If PACE Collier is realized, and if the project is put into place, me as a property owner, I can then say, okay, I think I would like to replace my doors and windows and make them more energy efficient. I think I might like to have a solar water heater. That would reduce my energy costs a lot. I think I might like to have solar panels on my roof that I can use to power my home or my pool. I think I might even like to have a small wind turbine that would help generate power. Maybe I can put some more insulation into my attic that would help me reduce costs. So I can go to the county and enroll in the program. The county can give me a loan, and I can pick from a list of certified contractors that can build these improvements for me. And then I'll start repaying that loan next year as a small increase in my property tax. But then I sit down and do the figures, and I realize, you know what? That loan is going to pay for itself quickly within a very few number of years. And I'm actually going to end up ahead of the game down the road. So this is a win-win for me as a property owner.
The board agreed to allow staff to begin work on exploring the feasibility of the program, which will be brought back before the board in September for their consideration. The board approved a developer agreement for intersection improvements at Airport Road and Orange Blossom Drive. Improvements are still coming to the intersection, but now it will be done in phases.
The sub-district, when it went through the growth management plan phase, had a requirement that that intersection would be improved, that there would be a public meeting and that the county would design that project and make it go forward. The developer didn't have the funds to proceed fully with that project, but offered to the board that if we would cooperate with him, he could bring projects forward and jobs as well too. So what's going to happen now is the county's going to go forward with the design phase. We'll do a public vetting phase as well too, and we'll do a phased improvement plan, providing some turn lane improvements and acquiring the right-of-way for the full plan.
After the southbound U-turn lane is complete, the full east-west and north-south turn lane improvements will be built in later phases. On the consent agenda, the board approved a $337,000 contract for the construction of Phase 1 of the Bayview Park project. Coastal Zone Management Gary McAlpin gives us the details of the project.
This is one of our most popular boating parks, and we're expanding the capacity there from 16 trailer spots to a total of 69. And what we're doing, this is the first phase of that expansion, and with this phase we are expanding the boat ramp from 2 ramp positions to 3. We are repairing all the seawall, we're replacing the seawall, and we are doing any additional water work that needs to be done at the facility. So all the water work, the seawall, the additional docks, and the boat rope, the ramp expansion is being done at this time. This will be followed by Phase 2, which will be the stormwater control on the site proper and the addition of the additional parking spots.
Phase 1 should be completed in about 6 months, with the second phase scheduled to begin shortly after that. The county attorney reported back to the board on the subject of booting vehicles that are illegally parked on private property. In March, the board asked the county attorney and staff to explore the possibility of raising the maximum booting fee from its current level of $25 to $100, allowing for first-time warnings, and to determine if booting companies should be required to be licensed as towing companies. The commissioners were told by Whitestone Group that they could no longer operate in the county if they were limited to a $25 booting fee. After hearing from the county attorney, the booting company, and several homeowners associations, the board voted 3-1 to direct staff to draft an ordinance that would raise the maximum booting fee to $100 if Whitestone changes their policy to accept credit cards and to begin issuing warnings before booting.